What is up, y'all? Y'all know what time it is. We are back from our month-long break. It was a good time, not having to deal with you guys for a while, but we're back at it. So we are going to look at Cam. There's a video, obviously Cam McEvoy just broke the world record in the 50 free this month. And we're going to look at the swimsuit guy shout out. We'll put his information in the description and in the title. In the comments, let us know what you want to see next. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. If you haven't already, as you're coming in, click those buttons, hit that noti bell, and we're gonna see what they hitting for, what they talking about. It's the video, like I said, it's the swimsuit guy's video, and he's hanging out with Cam. And I think something that's kind of important as a side note is that I've talked with Cam on Instagram in the DMs, and he's reviewed some of my, especially some of my sprint free content. Said it was A1 from day one. Stuff we've been using. Shoot, stuff I've been using since like 2018. Nope. Yeah, 2017, 2018. And he said it's been impossible to get anybody to listen to him, like even listen in Australia. So this is, I guess, a call out to the world that, hey, they bleeding. They a gimpy zebra right now. They ain't taking the man's advice. It's time to get that killer instinct on and go for the kill. But let's jump into the video and see what these guys are talking about. Okay, I gotta make sure I do some mic stuff. It's changed up a little bit on me. Okay.
Sonny, we're talking about my heart rate probably hasn't dropped below 100 this whole time. This is where I get my aerobic, if everyone's wondering. You have ever wondered how the fastest swimmer in the world trains, both in the pool and in the gym? You have ever wondered how the fastest swimmer in the world trains?
So this is something immediately I want to show you guys. So you see how upright he is and how deep his thighs are and his knees relative to his chest. I've talked about this before. Let me see, I probably have it right here, actually. The greatest collection of swim videos that no one has ever seen. Okay, except for a select few people on Team Elite who also had access to other ones. But the sprint freestylers there, and these are guys who are like Olympic medalists, are swimming like that. And I'd say even more upright. Okay, so, and I think there's something that's important to recognize about his upright swimming is that once his surface area gets like here, it's all front and back. And look how far away from the back of the surface where it's behind his thighs that is. That's a lot of space. So it's all twisting forward. Like that is a lot of power.
Trains both in the pool and in the gym, then this is the right video for you. Because in today's video, I'm going to show you every single training session over a week for the fastest swimmer in the world, Cam McEvoy. Cam is the defending Olympics and world champion in the 50 freestyle, making him the fastest swimmer in the world right now. And I'm not just going to show you what he gets up to in the pool, but also in the gym as well, showing you his fastest 25s, biggest lifts, and every other thing in between. Session one for the week is pretty much a like-to-like carbon copy of what Cam done last Monday, which there is a full video of that you can go and watch. But to quickly run through the session, it's a 300 loosen in the pool, then 2 warm-up reps, one at body weight where he's going to 25 at a sub-max speed, and one where he's using 2 kilograms of resistance on the 10-8.
This is something I want you guys to pay attention to right here, okay, with his stroke. Okay, let's go take it, or with his recovery. Now, a lot of people see this swinging wide thing. This is what I teach to my little ones about swimming underneath the
It's a 300 loosen in the pool, then 2 warm-up reps, 1 at body weight, where he's going to 20.
Okay, swimming underneath the chin, and this low swinging arm that a lot of people may look at and be like, hey, this is archaic now.
At a sub-max speed.
Okay. So you can see, like it's high, but it's pretty low. His hands are pretty low to the surface, even though it's kind of a straightish arm. Elbows are definitely higher than the body. So when you watch him swim, it looks like this low swinging arm, but then we look in the video here and you can see his elbows high. So what's really going on, right? Luckily we have the answer for you. So when we're doing sprint freestyle. Oh geez, look at all this. I think I need to get a better eraser. I am not liking how janky I'm looking right now. Like that dude in, what's that show? Charlie Brown, the one with the little dust all over himself. I feel like that's what this whiteboard, would-be whiteboard is making me look like. Okay, so, and this goes for even my straight arm recovery. I have all my athletes doing this. When we are swimming, right, we're flat in the water. We want to keep everything in front of our chest. This is where we do all our activities every day. We don't do a lot of stuff like here like this. We definitely don't do a lot of stuff back here in weird shoulder positions. So when we're swimming freestyle, oh man, I don't like how this light is looking. What light is that? Is it that light? Let me see what happens if I can do this. What light is that? Let me see what happens if I turn this light off, guys. Sorry. Does that change anything? Kind of. For those of you who don't know, for whatever reason, whenever I get behind a camera, my nose starts itching. You know, it won't itch all day until I get behind the camera. Okay, let's move this back because now it's in the frame. Unprofessional. Okay, so we're in the water, right? We're flat. The moment that we go to rotate, so this would be in front of the chest, right? This is all that space we're talking about where our body's designed to move. If I'm able to rotate, I can still stay in front of my chest and have my arm go very high, whether it's a straight arm, right? Or a bent elbow recovery, or where Cam is at, somewhere in the middle, right? And I'm still in front of my chest, right? I'm still in this area. All right, now obviously we don't want to lose our square like we saw with Cam. You know, the whole point of getting uphill is so everything's now twisting front to back instead of side to side. So what we are actually going to do is we're going to draw a chest. No, we're not going to draw a chest. Here's your head. There's your swim cap. There's your eyeballs. You know, a little 3D, a little 3D-ish. You're going to have your torso like that, right? We're going to open up this side of the torso. So it's going back behind the head. Here's your shoulder. Okay? So now this gives us this space. Now we got to remember it's also, like I don't know, if you were to draw it kind of a little bit more simpleton-like, it's going to look like this. Right? You're going to really open up that chest muscle. This is what David Marsh would call an open recovery, where we're finishing and really opening up, but we're not over rolling to where we're losing our posture, right? And now we're sideways moving through the water. So now we have that space for that arm, right? Because this whole pivot point I guess I should have drawn it like that. But the whole pivot point from the center of my chest is now open. Right? So it looks high, but it's in front of my chest area. Okay? And this is an ideal recovery, right? When we're thinking about bad recoveries that cause shoulder injuries, it's because we're recovering behind our back. You know, like this. You know, I have some of my kids do the 1, 2, 3 drill, and the first thing to do a shark fin is like this, which was behind the back, and then they're moving here behind the back. And we quickly get through that so we can get to swinging wide and under the chin, which once again, it feels low. I'm never going over my head. I'm not up here like this, right? It looks and feels low, which is what we want. That's how we want our swimmers to swim. It looks like a tall recovery, but you're moving in a way that the shoulder is supposed to move, that you're meant to make power in the frontal zone of the body. Hit them folks on them. Hit that Megumi on them. Hit that big raga, the op stopper, like that, on them.
In 2 kilograms of resistance on the 1080 machine to 20 meters. Then he starts the main set, a 25 max off the blocks at body weight, no resistance, followed by 4 reps with resistance. 2 at 1 kilos, 2 at 2 kilos, and then he's either going to do the same as last week, which is going to be a body weight max 25, or if he's not feeling too great today, he's going to do 2 20s at much higher resistance, going 5 kilos on the way. So warm-up is commencing. Obviously, you know, we have Cam in the group, but he actually has basically 3 almost constant training partners. We have Grayson here, we have Josh here, and then we have I from Japan over there. Grayson's a breaststroker, I's a fly sprinter, and Josh is one of the hottest junior sprint freestylers in the world right now. And then on deck, we of course have Timmy Lane, and then we have sports scientist Gerline. Something I like about these sessions is the sheer amount of numbers going up on this board. We've got 10 meters, 15, 20, got 25s, got stroke rates, all sorts, eh?
Yeah.
Cam has done his bodyweight dive 25, his 4 weighted reps, and he's decided he's been warming up throughout the set. He hadn't hit a target time till the 5th rep. He was, by all accounts, quicker on this session last Monday, I think on every rep. Stroke rate was just a little bit low to start with, 60 rate when he would like to be 62 plus on the first 3 reps, but then got to 62 plus on the last 2 kilo reps, and has opted to do 125 body weight, wants to get the segment time under 4.3, and he's joined. Well, the whole squad are in the hot tub now.
All right, so something I want people to take from this is high level stuff. Now, if I think about my Rickley product, high level stuff, but it's been like what we see here, I've translated it into drills, right? Now, obviously you can count the stroke rates and all this stuff, right? But that's so much more refined, because like when you get to this Cam's level, you're trying to find the variables. If y'all ever seen Knives Out, it's like, what do you say? The donut has a hole with an even, or the donut has the hole with a donut hole with an even smaller hole, making it an even smaller donut. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are pressed for variables. Like, they're trying to squeeze the last bit of juice out of his talent to, you know, go this fast. And I know, at least with my own personal products, like, it's kind of, I'll say it's unreasonable, right? We're all not expected to do this world elite level tactical data mining. But you can make sure you have the right materials, technique stuff that would be used, that you would need to have first before you start squeezing this stuff, this juice out the orange. But that's what I do, right? But the thing that I want y'all to think of and remember is you gotta have the feel first. What does this mean? You can count your strokes, you feel good in the water, but you're never gonna really see yourself swim when you're racing, right? Like you can't watch and be like, oh, his tempo's too slow. You gotta feel if your tempo is too slow. Right? You're not there with a stopwatch to actually clock it, right? You don't know if you hit 15 meters in 5 seconds or not. You gotta be able to feel this stuff, okay? And that takes a lot of being present. I mean, I sit here and I watch this data stuff, and it's like, I would never broach this if I'm not comfortable with feeling fast. Okay, with feeling like I'm connecting my stroke at all times. Because then, like if I can't get the technique side down and the intensity side down and just my own explosiveness, this data doesn't really mean anything. Okay, and for a lot of y'all aren't even have the technique side down for it to mean anything, right? And you could be the #1 swimmer in the world. You ain't swimming for Eddie. You ain't swimming for Dave Marsh. You ain't swimming for Dave Durden. You ain't swimming for Greg Meehan, right? Who can probably give you better sprint, I'm just assuming, better sprint coaching than who you're at, even if you're the #1 sprinter at what's it, age group swimmer in the country right now, right? You pale in comparison to those guys that they've coached, right? So it's like you still got more to do before this data mining even matters, okay? So don't forget, like you need to master the art of the technique side, right? But you can't see the technique, but it's understanding what feeling or swimming fast feels like, both technique and actually swimming fast for this to matter.
This is, I always just come through the window. Grayson's excited, he looks happy to be here. Yeah, there we go. Basically what just happened is Cam started to finally feel good when a 950 on that last one. And I asked Tim if he should do another, and Tim shut it down. Tim said, no, we've got more training this week, it's only Monday. Probably the right call.
I think something that's interesting to consider about this is how targeted it is. Like the amount, okay, so instant feedback is something reserved for elite land sports. I'm talking about, you could put soccer in there if you wanted, but as a black person, I'm going basketball and football, right? You can put track in there too. But like, if I make a change, so if I'm holding a basketball, right? Let me just grab this basketball from behind me. So we'll call this #2, you need a better feedback loop. Ooh. Okay. So if I'm gonna shoot a basketball, right? So one, obviously your hand size, all these things make a difference. Most people can shoot a basketball like this, right? My hands are too big to shoot a basketball like this, right? So you have space between your palms and your knuckles. Basically, you're shooting off your fingertips. Now, for me, this is probably where most people's thumb would be. My thumb has to come all the way around in front like this. All right, that's just how I have to hold it, right? So like the same way, if I palm a basketball, right? The position of my thumb is where I shoot. Now, if you look at that space, right? So when I pick up the ball, one of my hands gonna normally go here, but I have to remember to shift it before I shoot, right? So that's the first thing. Now, when I shoot, right, I'm gonna know if it's online, right? Now, generally when my thumb is right here, it's in a straight line every time, okay? So then it's just a matter of height, where am I pushing, where am I flicking, right? I get instant feedback. Now, there's different things that create different feedback. Am I shooting from here? Am I shooting fully extended? I shoot almost fully extended, so my elbow is pretty straight in, because here, if I shoot here, you can see that already, which is gonna make my hand kind of go that way, versus up here, it can kind of only go one way, right? So that plus my thumb, and then I have to, if I'm in the middle, you can see how my angle's changed again, right? So I have to be over my shoulder here. And then the final thing is, if I shoot at the rim, I usually go flat. So I have to like shoot at the sky. So when I flick my wrist and push, I'm shooting like this direction instead of that direction. So when I flick, I'm flicking it up. So all those things give me instant feedback, okay? So when I say you need to feel, right? Even though, Cam puts the 2 pounds on, or the 2 kilograms on, right? He's gonna make him feel a certain type of way in the water. What type of feedback does that give him, right? So like in my online coaching, and even in my one-on-one in person, we have the communication portion, right? Where we talk about what we're doing, right? Which would be the online. Usually I see them twice a month. In the case of my online one-on-ones, it's the Zoom meeting, and then the video submission, where they have to send me their videos as if I was coaching them on deck, the same way I would with my own personal one-on-ones. And then they each have to also send me race videos, so we can communicate if what we're doing is translating to them swimming faster or not, and then make our adjustments for the next time I see them, which would be Zoom meeting or in-person coaching. And that's the feedback loop. If I have those things, I can almost guarantee results. Right now, it's an overkill for me personally, because I want to be able to guarantee my results. Do I really need all those things? I probably need like 1, maybe 2 Zoom meetings, 1 video submission, 1 race. That's probably, you give me that, I'm not gonna say I can guarantee it, but it's gonna be a pretty high chance that you're gonna get what you want, right? If it's just Zoom meetings, I can't guarantee anything, right? Because we're just talking. If it's just video, yeah, but I also can't clear up any misunderstandings, right? Through our not having meetings. So those are like what I need. Feedback loop, right? So what happens is, you start making those shots, not only does your muscle memory connect, but you also develop confidence in that motion, right? So when he looks at this wall and he's seeing the right metrics, confidence goes up. All right, let's get back to it.
It is Tuesday, and that means it's time for Cam's second training session of the week. Of course, I'm not in a pool right now. I am in a gym. Cam is only ever doing singles. He's only ever doing 1 session a day. He's never doubling up, doing morning and evening, like in traditional swim training. And he's generally not swimming and gymming on the same day, although he's gonna try something a bit new this week. Let's run you through what he's doing in the gym today.
This is gonna feel so weird doing this before 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's great. I can't, like, Mizuno, 70 kilo pull up, race cap on.
Goggles on.
So this is the pride and joy of some of the exercises that we do. Now, the way he's doing it is different. We focus more on, imagine if, let's see if I can get it. So from this position, if he had to snap his body to his arms that are up, using his core, and his arms can't move and he can't put any pressure on his arms, it's all got to come from here. Maybe the arms are tense to stabilize them, but that's kind of like what we do. And I came with that on my own, and all of a sudden I remember Cam was like really starting to gain popularity. This is like 2019, 2020, 2021, 2021. And I saw him doing it, and he was doing one with an actual bar, and the version that I said, and I was like, oh, we got this. Like, we're doing this also, except in the water. So yeah, this is a major drill if you're, or majorly good exercise if you do it right.
4,000. Come on. Come on. Oh, one more. Yes! Gym session.
So I'm gonna put everything you need from this in the description below. But I think the final thing we're gonna touch on, I don't know if I'll need the whiteboard, but I'm gonna go ahead and clear it up just in case. A lot of the things he just saw, so when I swam at UT, Eddie had the list we had, and then you pretty much, if you got them done in time, you were allowed to do whatever lifts you wanted, like stroke specific strength. And with the weight coach, I came up with a lot of different, or he taught me a bunch of different back lifts. And, you know, swimmers were, you know, get your posture right, shoulders still hanging out in front, and eventually, you know, you learn to have a good posture. My great posture is not from swimming at all. It's from those lifts. My streamlines also got better. Eddie stopped talking trash about my streamline, the gap between my arms or my head or whatever, once I started doing these lifts. And Eddie and I had one overhead lift, but it was very lightweight, light ladder, up and down, up the ladder, down the ladder. And so a lot of the stuff you just saw right there going on were lifts that I was the only one doing at UT. And it just kind of came from thinking like an athlete, like, okay, these are like my areas that I need to be better at for strokes. And some of them I didn't even know, like the back exercises, I just knew I had a bad posture. And then I get to swim back or Team Elite and the David stuff that he was teaching me with inside out swimming, you got to be able to pull your spine together. So it was just a perfect storm. So seeing him do this stuff, like I've never watched this video before, it's just like, yeah, it makes sense. And the reason why, guys, we'll draw this up here and then we'll get up out of here. Imagine, what lift was that? Let's go back and look together real quick before we move on. It is this one. Okay. So you're in this, imagine we're going to draw it from the front and then we're going to look at it from the side, right? So he's in this cross position. We're going to draw it like this so that way we can always see shoulder blades. Let's make this bigger. Sorry, guys. All fast swimming is an isometric hold. Remember that. So when you're doing your technique, and you don't really understand how it is, but you're not pulling water. You're moving your body forward. And you need an anchor for an isometric hold to work via rotation. So, all right, here's the back. Here's our shoulder blades kissing in the middle. Okay, there's your cap. Okay. Let's see, here's the shoulders and the arms. Okay, so when you make this anchor point, right? So let's say the hands aren't moving, right? You got this anchor point. When I go to rotate, how do I want to draw this? And this is stuck on something, right? I have solid water. I got my hand anchored. When I rotate, this anchor point, right, where I'm holding on to the weight, is pulling this way. Okay, so my body might roll. Right, my body might roll, but I might be too weak in my back to where it just disconnects, slides out, relaxes. right? So this is why your back strength and why some people who have weak backs, and honestly, the high head position is so effective, is because it kind of naturally pulls everything together and naturally gives you just a better chance of it staying together because I'm already here, right? For this to slide out, I'd have to, boom, be even with my arm again. Or maybe I'd lose it here, but I still have a good chance because my head's up, my chest is up. Good night. Sorry, guys. Right? So if I'm holding on to this, let's see how can I do this, right? And I pull my shoulder blades in, and then I go to roll, and it just slides out. I've lost my connection with my body. I'm no longer using my rotation to pull. So that's why inside out swimming is so important. The weight room is so important, right? It's nothing to do really with, I mean, definitely with strength, but it's having the strength so you can apply the appropriate force on the water so you can actually use your rotation to move yourself, to leverage yourself down the pool. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. You know, hit that like, comment. Let me know what you think about what we just saw. We only made it through, it's like 5 minutes of Cam's 13-minute video, so you have a lot to go watch of the Swimsuit Guys video. Shout out to them. All their information will be in the title and in the description below. Once again, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button, hit that noti bell so you're notified whenever we drop a video. Tuesday is our last week on Rakely. We'll review our Rakely content on Instagram and go a little bit deeper into the what would be short form Rakely posts. We have Wednesday and Friday where we talk about technique and take a look at these, react to these videos. So once again, thanks for hanging out, guys. Peace.